What does it mean to live unlimited? For some, it's learning to navigate a world not built for you. For others, it's discovering that strength isn't found in perfection, it's found in perseverance. The Living Unlimited podcast celebrates life without limits, real stories, raw conversations, and practical wisdom from people living boldly with limb differences. Each episode shines a light on what's possible when we choose courage over comparison and creativity over conformity. Because life isn't about what's missing, it's about what's possible. Welcome to another episode with Jessica Cox and Pauline Victoria. We are so excited to have this conversation with you today because it is so relevant to those with limb differences. And the topic of today is how do
you deal with staring?
Yes. How do we deal with staring? Oh, okay, Jessica. I'm going to let you go first.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Sometimes I just have to remind myself, I just walk outside my house. And I'm easily in that space so I can remind myself. But if I've stayed home all day like I did today, I have to kind of like jog my memory of what do I do? Because it's so automatic at this point when you've lived a whole life of being different. And sometimes for me, it's just I forget. And as a young person, actually, to be honest, I lived in my normal and my community and my family and my friends who just accepted me as me. And it wasn't until I left that I'd remember I am different. It was as if the strangers reminded me of my difference by their reactions to me. And it came to me as early as like maybe 1-2 years old. I mean, it was early on. My mom tells a story about how she wanted to go to the grocery store and just get a gallon of milk. And she'd have me sitting in the grocery cart and pushing me around the store, but she'd be inundated with stares and questions and, oh, poor baby and all this stuff. And all she wanted to do was get a simple gallon of milk. And she had to learn first before then I had to learn by her modeling how to do it. And now as an adult, I don't hesitate to go anywhere. I will sit in the middle of the restaurant, take my shoes off and eat with my feet and go about my business because it just kind of bounces off me now. I'm like, this is a part of the package. There's good, there's bad, and I guess it's ultimately how I react to it. So I'm going to just sit here and do my thing and just do what I got to do. And if anyone has a problem with it, that's their problem. That was talk about a journey. And you know what I'm talking about, Pauline, getting to that point of just letting the stares bounce off. But you just can't absorb them all. You can't.
No. For me, I feel the same way. It's kind of like white noise in the background.
Oh,
We get smell blind. Like I'm stare blind now. And I can
yeah.
tell because I'll be with somebody and the person I'm with will be like, "Oh my God, that person was totally staring." And I'm like, "What? I didn't even notice." It's
Yeah.
nothing that affects me anymore. And again, like the previous episode, we talked about having a bad day. It can get weighing on me if I am having a bad day and I have to go in public and I have to deal with other people's energies also. But I remember when I started dating my husband, he would get really upset at people staring at me. And I remember telling him, just let them stare and get it over with. They're staring because I'm unique, I'm different. It's nothing that they're used to. But if you just let them like, just do it, it doesn't bother me, then they'll be over it. And it'll like, okay, I've seen what I needed to see.
Yeah.
And it's nothing that I put too much energy into anymore.
And I guess I had a little bit more understanding the moment I saw someone who was different. And I realized my eyes and my need to stare to understand it was a human reaction. And so I had better empathy for those once I realized I'm also doing the same thing, but I know not to stare because I've lived my life of being stared at. But I feel compelled to be curious and look and to see that something that I haven't ordinarily seen in public. I've just got to look at it. And I mean, that's just anything. That's
Right.
just our human nature. So I think having the empathy for and understanding for that makes it a little easier to take on the staring. I think it is just realizing people are going to stare because it's different. But
Yeah.
that doesn't mean something negative. It just means they're reacting to a curiosity.
Yeah. I almost rather than just stare and get it over with rather than the side eye. Like they're like, looking somewhere else, but they're kind of looking on the peripheral. So I
Oh
call it the
gosh.
side eye.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
the side eye.
not looking, but I'm looking.
That's just so takes a lot of effort to do that. Just get it over with. Stare. And like my friend Barb has on her shirt, take a picture, something about you can stare at it all day or something. She had a shirt or something that said, if you take a picture, you can stare at it longer, something
Yeah.
like that.
Okay, for those of you who do not have limb differences, but you're curious about who we are, this is for you. There is a limit. Okay, this is a little etiquette piece. Jessica, I'm going to share this story because it was the most absurd thing that has ever happened to me. And I've had a lot of different things happen to me. My friend and I, we got some dessert from this healthy grocery store and we were sitting outside and sharing it. And I was eating, and this lady comes up to me. She's like, "Oh, that's how you eat?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, it's how I eat." And she just stood there, and I'm looking at her and I'm looking at my food. I'm like, I just want to eat my dessert. I'm looking at my friend and I'm like, okay. And she's like, don't let me stop you. I'm just going to sit here and watch.
Oh my
And I was like,
gosh.
I'm not really sure if I'm comfortable with that. And my friend's like, she has a video on how she eats if you want to watch that. Because people are really just curious. But
Hmm.
there is a difference between being curious, but having it be at the expense of us. Right.
Yes.
Very different. So this is just a note of etiquette for anyone that, I mean, even us, like you said, we can be guilty of also staring at people who are also different. So
Hmm.
this is not like we're not high and mighty above this. We are also human and have
Hmm.
curiosity about things that we have not yet seen before. But I would not sit there and say, don't let me stop you. I'm just going to sit here and watch.
Yeah, it's a very awkward feeling. Now
Yeah.
that you share that story, it reminds me of a story that I was in Hong Kong. And I mean, some cultures are different when it comes to staring. As you know, some Asian cultures see it as being okay to stare. And I was sitting there and using chopsticks for the first time with my toes in a Chinese restaurant in Hong Kong. And literally, I think it was the owner or chef of the restaurant comes out from behind in the kitchen, literally sits down at a table beside me and is watching me do this and figure this out. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I just didn't realize that certain cultures are so okay with this, but it's not okay with me. And we have to speak up, I think. And you did that appropriately, I think, Pauline, in your situation, where we can say things to stand up for ourselves and our feelings, right? And not just let it be.
Yeah,
And the fact that you said, I don't know if I'm okay with that, that's exactly what we need to be able to do is to speak up if it makes us feel uncomfortable.
absolutely. Well, I think, staring is only one reaction that we get from people. So I think future episodes, we should share all different sorts of reactions that we get from others and how do we respond in a way that is constructive. Because here's the thing I believe we are different and people are going to naturally be curious about who we are, how we do things, because it's different for them. But I figure if I allow them to do whatever they're going to do, let them do what they're going to do, it creates a bridge of understanding. So then us being different is no longer different. It's just another way of living.
Mhm.
And I know not all of us wants to bear that responsibility, but there is some responsibility that I choose to bear and understanding that I can be an object of expanding another person's world, that it's not all cookie cutter. And kids are great for this. They're a great catalyst for questions to create that
Mhm.
understanding. And I actually had a little girl the other day say, I want to see your arms. And I'm like, why? And she's like, "'Cause I wanna see them." I'm like, "Okay, but why?" And she's like, "'Cause you're cool." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, for you, little girl, I will do it." But it doesn't make it odd or weird. It makes it cool to be different.
Yeah.
I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I think I just want to reiterate too that we are under no obligation to show people if we don't feel comfortable and we don't want to. And like you said, Pauline, you choose to do that. And it's a choice of every individual. Everyone's different. And also depends on how you're feeling that day. Some days I feel like sitting in the cash register line at the store and telling kids about how everyone's different and it's okay to be different. And that way that can further their understanding when they engage with a child who has a difference. But other days I just want to go in and get my pack of gum and leave. And that's just who I am. And I don't have any obligation. And sometimes I have the energy to do the educating and sometimes I don't. And not one way is right or wrong. I just think that everyone's different and recognizing that, but really making sure that it's a positive experience because staring is just a reality of our life. It's part of the package.
Absolutely. If you've been stared at for being different, let us know in the comments. And how did you respond to it? That is our responsibility. Like, I love the definition that Wayne Dyer gives, respond. It's responding with responsibility. Everyone is different in how they respond, but we would like to know how you respond to staring, and we can commiserate or we can learn from one another. So please put in the comments your experience and let us know how we're doing. Do you like what we're talking about? Do you want us to talk about something else? And what is that? Because we're here to serve you.
They said there's only one way to live, but we were born to redefine it. We found light in the hardest places, turned the struggle into guidance. Every scar, every stare, every door once closed became the wind beneath our hopes. We're not what the world expects to see. We're the proof of